Hello and welcome to the Penno channel. We're back. Before we get into this one, if you could like, and also if you're new around here, please subscribe. We're 65 subscribers away from 500. That's what we're chasing down. So if you could like, subscribe if you're new, and also drop your comments on what we discuss here, because it's going to be a big discussion point. I'm joined with my bro to discuss a transfer I think that is looking likely to happen, and that is Douglas Luiz heading out of Aston Villa to Juventus, and Villa receiving Weston McKennie and Samuel Iling-Junior, as well as 20 million euros. Bro, how you feeling? How's your day been? And yeah, let's get cracking.
Yeah, bro, good to jump on another podcast with you, man. I won't lie, I am gutted at the moment with this deal and the player that's leaving. Obviously, me and you both rate the player. So, yeah, man. What about you? How's your day been?
Yeah, good man, bro. Yeah, just been having a look at what's been progressing, and yeah, a lot of things have been progressing. He seems to have just flown today. Like, obviously, there's been the rumours now for over a week and a half, but it seems like today's been the day where things are really progressing now, and there's loads of sources dropping the news. Got a few people in the chat, so good. Andy has joined us. He says, "Evening, gentlemen, at the Villa." Evening, Angie. Andy, thanks for joining us. Deontay, as always, has joined as well. He says, "Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining, Deontay." And yeah, let's get into it then, bro. So there's been rumours now. Oh, another comment here quickly. Gary says, "Hi lads, gutted yes, but a possible 3 players brought in if we use the cash wisely." Yeah, thanks for joining, Gary. And yeah, we'll get into everything regarding it. So there's been many rumours now from Italian sources over the past week and a half, basically saying that Juve were after Douglas Luiz. It then materialised that Juve were offering to swap. A number of players were listed. I think Chiesa was softly listed, but there was no real link within that. But also Mateus Sol, Weston McKennie was one at the time. So initially, it kind of transpired that it was McKennie and cash. Going further on, it developed more, and Samuel Iling-Junior got brought into the deal. And now it looks like that will be the deal for those 2 players, as well as cash for Douglas Luiz and his services. Uh, so yeah, bro, how are you feeling about the deal as a whole? Because I think we were kind of resigned to Villa losing a big player this summer. We discussed it in previous videos before, because of the PSR situation, it was bound to happen. We kind of said that we'd expected it to be Luiz as well, because he's one of our highest assets. He's one of our best players for sure. But out of all the other players, it felt like Douglas Luiz would attract the attention and the possible the saleable asset out of the players we do have. And it's looking like it's gonna turn out that way. But yeah, bro, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm not against the premise of selling Douglas Luiz. I think for a club like Villa and the position that we're in, I think it's healthy to sell your top players after a while to be sustainable and then obviously reinvest that money. It seems like there's not as much demand for Luiz as we would think, with Juventus are the only real team that it looks like are bidding. Whether that's Villa not wanting to sell to a Premier League club as they see him as a rival, I'm not sure. But yeah, now the deal, it accounts to 60 million on the books, if that's true. I've seen a lot of rumors about that being the case. So yeah, I see why they've done it in that instance. My only thing with the deal, bro, is the original amount that they're offering, the 20 million. I think we could have negotiated higher for that. And I'm just personally just not a fan of McKennie. I don't think that really elevates the squad. Ealing Junior, I'm excited about. I think that's a really young prospect. I'm really excited to see how Emery uses him, whether he's going to be our new left back or not. But yeah, not against selling Douglas. I think it's a sustainable thing to do. I just don't like McKennie in the deal. I think that's where the deal kind of gets lost a bit for me.
Yeah, that's a fair opinion to have, bro. I think me and you, we love Douglas Luiz as a player. We always have done. We always thought he should have been playing further forward a few seasons ago when he was operating as a DM. And yeah, it's going to be sad to see him leave, because he's such a quality player. And obviously, going into the Champions League football, your first season, you want to have all your best players there. In an ideal scenario, you want to be able to build on your squad with all your best players being there, who have got you to this point, and got you into the competition, got the club to finish fourth. So that's going to be the big miss for me, losing Douglas Luiz and just not even getting to see him represent us at Villa in the Champions League, because he's been here 5 years now. He's one of our longest service players. Apart from Tyrone Mings, John McGinn, and you put Courtney Hawes in there as well. You've got Luiz and I think Ezri Konsa from that summer, really, who are still here. So
Ramsey as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but Rams Academy, isn't it? But, you know, he came through the academy. But signings we made, I think it's Luiz and Konsa. So Douglas Luiz has been here for 5 years. He's seen us go from the very bottom all the way to, you know, the top end of the table and get Champions League football. And he's been instrumental this season, especially the first half of the season. He was absolutely instrumental in us getting there. And he's had periods throughout his time here. The season in COVID, when we came back from COVID and we nearly got relegated, Douglas Luiz was our best player that period. He kept us up. He was so good in that period, and it's going to be sad to see him leave, man. I can't lie. That's going to be sad to see him leave. Not just because of the quality of the player. It's just that he's been on a journey from us just surviving from relegation to get into a Champions League position. It would have been nice to see him play with us in the Champions League. So that's from a sentimental aspect for me.
Just to jump on your point, I think it's a great point that you make about the sentimental side of it as well. But if you evaluate Douglas's time here, you're looking at a player that's got over 200 appearances, got 20 goals and assists last season in an off season for him. Won our Players Player of the Season, Fans Player of the Season the year before, helped us secure Conference League, and helped us finally get over the line for Champions League. I mean, there's an argument to say he's a bigger legend than people like Petrov and maybe Barry. Like, I think he's genuinely up there when you evaluate the CV and what he's done for the club.
Well, I agree. And I think with a few more seasons going on, he'll be looked at like that. It's kind of raw at the minute, and obviously you look back on it and like nostalgia takes over, and people will be like, "Do you remember Douglas Luiz?" When for sure. So I think he will be right up there in that regard. Moving on to the deal itself, then, bro. As we said, we thought that Douglas Luiz would be the player that would go. There's members of Jacob Ramsey as well, and obviously John Duran, which we can get on and touch on a bit later, potentially going to Chelsea. There's Villa set an asking price for how much they want to, and there's meant to be a number of clubs of interest. Regarding Douglas Luiz, do you think there was other teams actually interested apart from Juventus? Obviously, there's this 30th of June deadline that's been spoken about. And we potentially have to sell before that deadline for PSR reasons and FFP. Do you think there was other clubs interested in Douglas Luiz? Because there's been no other links. It's just been Juventus that have been stated as having an interest in Douglas Luiz. And if there was other clubs, do you think they were just trying to not match the valuation? Because what we'll be getting from this deal, not just the two players and the money, but as a package, it'll be registered as 60 million euros. So which will benefit us greatly. On the books, it will look great. Do you think other clubs were willing to pay that? Or do you reckon it was just Juventus was the best deal and on the table at the moment? This is the direction we're going to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of assumptions at play. Like, we don't have any real information about the teams that are interested or not. It's mostly hearsay. But one theory could be that Villa see themselves competing for the top four, even the league. The way Nassef Sawiris talks sometimes about his mentality and that. So if we see these guys as competition, as rival, there might be a reluctancy to try and sell to these guys. Like, we don't want Douglas Luiz directly affecting our league position if we do sell him. So
yeah,
that could be a theory. Or there might not be that much interest or as much interest as anticipated, and Juventus are there to make a deal. I don't know. How do you think it went down?
Do you think this is his valuation? Like, are you happy with the valuation as 60 million?
No. In a market where Enzo went for 120, Caicedo went for 100 million, Benfica priced that John Neves kid at 100 million. Can't really think of any other examples off the top of my head, but in a market where midfielders are going for that 60 million for Douglas, who's coming off 2 decent seasons, just secured Champions League, still relatively young and has 2 years left on his deal. It feels like PSR's at hand here more than.
Yeah. I think that the article coming out from Nassif today as well kind of amplifies that, to be honest. Him stating that, you know, clubs have to operate within these means, and they get to such positions within the league and they don't have the ability to spend even if they're debt free. I think that coming out today kind of, for me, states that the club aren't happy with selling Douglas Luiz either. Obviously, there's the other aspect of Luiz, and that he's supposedly had a deal for a number of months now and he hasn't signed the deal. So there's other varying factors of why the club would be looking to sell him. Douglas Luiz might want to change. He might want a different environment, which is understandable. If he's not willing to sign the deal, then the club have to sell. They have to try and make as much money as possible. And with this intertwining with the whole PSR situation, it's probably the perfect time that the club envisage of making such a profit on Douglas Luiz. But I don't think they're happy with it. Personally, I don't think they're happy with it. And Nassif's article states that, and potentially Monchi and Emery aren't happy with having to sell him either, but they realise, the current restrictions that we're under, and this is an opportunity where we get 2 players to come in, make some money as well, and then we can automise that their value, and then have room to spend extra money within the summer as well, and bring in other players in other areas. And I don't think the players coming in a direct replacement to Douglas Luiz. I know we've got Ross Barkley coming in, but I envisage that another player of a similar ilk will come in as well. Whether that is Conor Gallagher, who I still don't think similar to Douglas Luiz, and I think there'll be a more suitable signing who's a much similar profile. I don't know what your thoughts.
Do you think then? Do you think they'll still be looking for centre midfielders?
Yeah.
I really hope. I'd be shocked if we are. Like, I think that would be.
I think
crazy.
Barkley, Weston, McKennie coming in. You've got Dendoncker, Douglas Luiz leaving. I feel like they'll look for another profile. We've always stated that we require a DM operative as well. I think there'll be more midfielders that come in.
I can understand the defensive midfielder if Kamara's out and Dendonker's moved on, but I'd be surprised that
So what do you think the Conor Gallagher links then? Just hearsay. I think that's done now. I think McKennie's been added into the deal. So you don't. So when
I'd be surprised,
was stating that Gallagher's a top priority, number one priority, like number one target. You feel that Weston McKennie was just, if we could get McKennie, then that's no longer the case.
So I was just looking at the chat. The chat's going off.
I know. We'll get to the chat. We'll get to the chat for sure.
Chat's going off, but yeah, I'd be surprised if Gallagher, because you've got McKennie. He's not a traditional centre mid, or he's not going to just stay there the whole time. He's played further forward. You got Tielemans that can play further forward as well. If we're getting Gallagher as well, I'm not feeling that now after getting McKennie and Barkley. I think I'd be looking at a defensive midfielder, and then someone like Alex Baena or something, like a different type of attacking midfielder, not Gallagher that's known for pressing and getting about the pitch.
Yeah.
Surely that's what they've brought McKennie in for.
Yeah, I think we discussed before, Weston McKennie. Okay, he's 26. He's a USA international. He's played a number of games for Juventus. I see Weston McKennie playing off that right side and being interchangeable with John McGinn. That's where he operated a lot for Juventus last season. He didn't play in the middle of the pitch. He was operating off the right side of the pitch, whether that was in a right midfielder position or as a right wing back, or even as a right back in itself. So I don't even envision Weston McKennie playing in the middle of the pitch. So
and, just
that makes that. Yeah, go on, bro.
Sorry, there's just a thing. Sorry, carry on, bro.
Now, just saying, when you're saying about our need for centre mids, I don't even think Weston McKennie's been brought in that sense. I think he's more off the right. I think that's where we'll look to operate and use him. When McGinn playing 50-odd games a season, he will no longer be required to do so, as Weston McKennie will be used in that position.
If they're playing him off the right, then I'd say we need Gallagher even less, because that's the position I thought he'd be coming into play.
Yeah.
I'd say.
But what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, with McKennie as well, I want to state this. This is not just judging him off his time at Leeds. Like, even last season, he was improved at Juventus, playing from the right, in that right wing back kind of role. But if you look at like the underlying numbers, Barkley, Luiz, Tielemans killed him in the stats. They were all way better. They all had way better seasons. It's not just judging McKennie off his time at Leeds. I think it's such a lazy like analysis to say. Like, I even watched him in an American friendly the other day, and he just, I'm not moved by it, bro. I'll be honest. I think it's a downgrade. I think it stagnates the club, and I think he's going to be hard to move, because I assume he gets a 3-4 year deal. I think it's going to be another one of them deals where it's hard to move on, and then there's an opportunity cost as well of a midfielder that we now can't get because he's coming. I mean, there's so much talent available in the market similar profiles to him. And I don't know, man. Like, bro, we used to laugh off McKennie links under Dean Smith. Like, I just feel like I'm going mad. I can't lie. Yeah, I'm not. I'm happy to sell Luiz. I'm excited by the Iling-Junior. Like, he's got potential.
Let's get on to Iling-Junior. So, obviously,
McKennie,
Iling-Junior, a talent, 16-year-old at Chelsea, didn't quite make it there. Got picked up by Juventus and has just come on. England under 21 international. That's a big signing. And again, Iling-Junior, I think he's a player who can play in a number of positions. I'm not sure we quite know where his best position is. And looking how he does play, potentially he could be that left back or that left wing back we play when we put the three in there. And even when Kamara's back and he drops into that right centre back position, I think Iling-Junior could be that player who operates on that left side. And he's how Alex Moreno was playing before he had the injury the season before, looked to be used as a weapon down the left, getting past the fullback and delivering crosses and getting into dangerous areas.
Yeah, he's an interesting profile. He's 6 foot. He's quite dangly on the ball. If you look at some of his footage, he was originally a left winger. He's got electric pace. He's got decent dribbling, although he can look a bit uncomfortable sometimes taking his man on, but his dribbling in general is decent. He was top 5% in all of Europe for fullbacks for carrying the ball, so getting up the pitch, which is what we've seen sometimes with Luca Dean. He'll have the open space and he won't be able to drive into all that space that's created. So honestly, if he's being used as a left back or a left wing back in this system, I kind of see the vision.
Yeah,
it's just about how he can adapt. We're going to be in the Champions League. Premier League is a big step up. He hasn't played in the Premier League before. It's about how he can adapt. But yeah, with Iling-Junior, I think it's a case of being in Italy, maybe not speaking the language as good as he could, and Juventus not fancying that much. He didn't start too many games, but at Villa, I think that's a promising player, genuinely. Like, he represents England at his age group as well. He's been in teams with like Philogene Bidas and Morgan Rogers, so
yeah.
Rogers will know him as well, make his journey into the club easier. Yeah, I'm excited by the Iling-Junior.
I'm excited about it as well, bro, because it's one thing we sometimes lack his pace, and especially in those areas and in the wing areas, and he has bags of that. So imagine him going down that left hand side, and we creating space for him, and him having free space to run into with the ball. Yeah, I'm very excited by him joining us as well. And again, I think the way Monchi is renowned for operating at football clubs, this could be a window where there's a lot of incomings and outgoings, a lot. That's how he's been known to operate. So it wouldn't be surprised me if there's many more deals to be done of incomings and outgoings as well. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I don't think it's going to be just a couple in now. I think there could be many more as well.
Well, I'd hope the defence now. Like, I'm fine with not touching the attack unless Duran goes, which we'll get onto. But I'd be looking at defence, centre backs. Hopefully, a right back. I don't know. Matty Cash has had some links away with AC Milan. Cash had an improved season, but I wouldn't be against moving him on if that had to come to it to get like an upgrade at right back. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think there might be a lot more outgoings and incomings as well.
Yeah. Just picking up on a few comments within here. Kevin says, thanks for joining, Kevin. He says, Luiz a walking, booking, inconsistent. But don't get me wrong, without PSR, I'd have kept him, just being honest. Fair opinion, Kevin. Rachel says, thanks for joining, Rachel. She said, we'll miss Dougie, but I don't think we're finished in the midfield area. Yeah, I'm of that opinion, Rachel, to be honest. Andy says, I'm excited about 4 new players, Mings, Buendia, Ramsey and Kamara. Of course, Kamara, I think, will be a bit longer off, but hopefully we're hoping that the other 3 potentially play some part in pre-season and then are in the squad for the next season as well. Overall, bro, it looks like that deal's going to go through now, and potentially that looks like by July, the 1st of July, we'll have 3 players in. I reckon they'll possibly hold out just for the financial year. If we can get the Douglas Luiz sale in before that and then have those as part of the deal after. 3 players in, looks like Barkley, Iling-Junior and Weston McKennie. Going from that, and obviously knowing that you've lost a player, Douglas Luiz's ability, penalty taking. He's our penalty taker. He's our set piece taker. Like, he has been integral to us and how we play. Would you personally look for a player who can do that, or do you reckon within our squad now we have players who have that ability? You know, does a Yuri Tielemans step up on set pieces and penalties? Possibly Luca Digne, if he were to stay, he'd take set pieces as well. Or do you think you look for another player who operates in a similar position, a similar mold, and is a specialist in those areas?
Well, Tielemans' technique's not the worst, is it? Like, he has
No.
that capability, and with Luiz gone, his responsibility is going to increase even more now.
Yeah.
I mean, Baena is known for set pieces. Like, maybe he could be an option if we do go in for him. But yeah, I think Tielemans will start taking penalties as well, depending on how Watkins feels. Like, I know his record's not the best, but yeah, I think Tielemans will be the guy now.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I want to say about Dougie, I think Dougie goes with every Villa fan's blessings, to be honest. He goes with mine for sure, and I'm sure the same with you, bro, because he stuck around. There's tough times. Let's be honest, there was tough times indeed. There's times where some were not having him, and he pulled through all of those. And especially under Gerrard, you have to think under Gerrard, Watkins wasn't favoured, Douglas Luiz wasn't favoured. McGinn got the captaincy and kind of his performances dropped. Tyrone Mings was out, not favoured at all. There were some tough times, and he kind of stuck around. And I do wonder now how we ever convinced him to sign that deal at that time. I'll never know. For him to stick around as well. There's been murmurs potentially of Man City having a release clause. I don't know if that is the case, but that would be interesting as well to see if they do have been reported around 20%, but I don't know if that's a fact or not. But yeah, Douglas Luiz definitely goes.
Can City just not leave us alone, bro? Like, have they not
I know.
20% of his 12.
Yeah,
Piss off, man.
I thought that would be
like,
removed. Yeah. I know. And Stephen Ireland wasn't bad enough, bro.
Didn't they got a cut of the Rodgers deal as well, innit? Like,
yeah.
Like, Man City,
yeah,
come off it, man. Like, let us breathe.
For sure. And yeah, man, I'm still excited. I'm still excited for this window because, as I said, the way Monchi operates, I think there'll be so many incomings and outgoings. I think there might be more shocking outgoings, to be honest. Obviously, today we've seen a number of names linked. Matty Cash been linked at the door. John Duran been linked to potentially leaving as well. If those two were to go, you're looking at around another 60 million plus. And then you can start buying players and you know, balancing the book as well and setting off the fee we pay for those players, so you can go for bigger signings at that point. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer for sure. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens, man. The window's not even open yet, bro. It opens the 14th of June. It's not even open yet, and it seems like every window has been for the past 2-3 seasons. Aston Villa are the talk of it in the first, before it even opens, or the first week or two, because we seem to operate quickly and try and get as much business as we can do done in the first part of the summer window. Find anything to add about that? And Dougie Luiz, any good memories, any good points?
Legacy wise, where would you put him?
In my lifetime.
Yeah, in your lifetime.
Or
midfielders, or
I think he's on Barry level, maybe a bit higher for me, because I was a bit younger with Gareth Barry, but around there. So that's high, because Gareth Barry's one of the highest for me.
Well, I guess Barry's got the appearances, isn't it? Like, he just clears with the appearances. You got FA Cup, League Cup finals, and then I guess Luiz is leaving on better terms than Barry did, though. That probably works against him.
Yeah, I think he's on that level for sure. And people will still watch Douglas Luiz and see how he's performing in Juventus. You know, there'll be no malice regarding the deal. There's nothing at all. Like, everyone will want him to do well. Do you think unless they play us in Champions League?
Unless they play us in Champions. I seen a clip today where he's just waving at the end of the Liverpool game. Like, do you think he knew? Do you think the club told him, like, listen, you might not want to leave, but we're gonna be moving you on? or like I don't know, there's other reports saying that he's had a contract there and he's not signing. Like you don't know what to believe, but from that video, it looks like Luiz knew like his time was over at Villa. Like he's waving at the hole, and no other player was doing that for that amount of time. So,
bro, I can't lie. The amount of times he's probably done that wave and thought he was going, and he hasn't. Just think of how many
when has
stories
he
been. He's probably done that. Yeah, exactly. When has he not looked like he's leaving? Yeah, but potentially, yeah, he was doing that, or he's just done that after every season because there's always been stories regarding him leaving. Yeah, the Man City buyback one summer as well. So yeah, there's always been murmurs around Dougie leaving, but yeah, definitely got leaves Villa Park with full support of Villa fans for sure.
And honestly, bro, I personally think Juve have won the deal. I think they've smashed the deal, and their fans are getting a top player that's gonna into their system.
You're getting the top
manager,
quality, top quality player.
It seems like Juventus are going through a whole new rebranding of the club. Like they've changed their style, they've changed the players that they focus on, and I think they're getting a sick player. So first to them, man.
Yeah, bro. Matty Cash. It seems like Fonseca enjoyed that goal just as much as Villa fans did. Against his club when he was managing Lille, because it looks like he's looking at getting Matty Cash for AC Milan now. Paulo Fonseca's soon to be announced as the AC Milan manager, and looks like, and there's rumours circulating that Matty Cash is one of the players AC Milan are interested in. I think that has legs. And I do feel that Matty Cash will go this summer.
I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I think sometimes the right back position has been a priority to upgrade. Cash, like I said, he's improved on last season, but he still can be quite frustrating playing the high line or when going forward, like that final ball, that final delivery. I think if we can get in real quality, someone that can take their man on 1v1 consistently, bro, we're in business. So, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that sale at all. What kind of fee would you think Villa would look for? I mean, Cash we signed 2020, I think, £15 million.
15 million,
5-year deal. Would you be looking at way more than that, or?
I think they'll be looking at 25, 30. Probably 25-ish, I think. But then, is it that an undervaluation? It's tough because of the position we're in.
I'd take 25, I'll be real.
Yeah.
I'd take 25. His book value is going to be like 3 million as well, so it's going to be like big profit. I'd take 25.
And then looks good on the books, and also help Villa go up the league table as well. Another one who was signed in that era. What a window that was, with Watkins and Martinez also coming as well.
Is that our best window since promotion, or is last year better?
Oh, I think in its totality, that window was the best. Martinez and Watkins is
Martinez and Watkins just kind of trumps any like
that those two.
Like these are like top 5 players,
probably
easily
irreplaceables in our squad. But going to a few comments here. Rachel makes a great point. Dougie will suit the Italian league. It's much slower than the Prem. 100%. He'll get more time on the ball as well, and
they're gonna love him.
That's when his best ability is shown. Yeah, for sure. Gary says
some of their guys. Sorry, but I've seen some of their like Italians are just mad passionate. I've seen their guys on like these talk shows just like running around the place, jumping up and down, just like you don't realize the type of player we got, man. And I agree with them.
Gary says Luiz is replaceable, unlike Watkins and Martinez. Fair point, Gary. Cairo, thanks for joining. Cairo goes, isn't there a chance we could sell Duran before we would need to sell Dougie with the PSR issues? Yeah, potentially that is the case. That's an interesting one as well, bro. As has been stated today, looks like Duran asking price has been set at 40 million. What do you think in regard to that?
I think 40 million, if the player wants to go, you can't really argue with that. Like, that would be a mad deal. I don't think anyone's going to bid 40 million. But if that was the case, yeah, I think that would be a good deal. Looks like my brother's just cut off there. One sec, let me just...
I'm back. I'm back, bro. Yeah, I'm back.
You back?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you saying, bro?
I don't think someone's taken the Luiz news well in your video, bro.
Yeah, there's someone in there. Yeah, it's all good to go. Carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, you were going for the questions, isn't it?
Oh, was I going for the comments? Gary said, any swaps with Milan? Rafael Leao, maybe? Thoughts on that? Potential?
Yeah, man.
Rachel says, as Villa don't have the time to really wait and Chelsea can take their time. Yeah, do you reckon 40 million's too high for Douglas Luiz, for John Duran then? Or do you reckon that's the right price? Because obviously we signed him for 20, yeah, 18 to 20. So I think the valuation is actually fair for John Duran. I think
he's increased, bro. Like he's increased his money 100%. He's got the best scoring rate in the whole Premier League. 40, I think 40 will be an insane deal for us. Like I love Duran. I don't want him to leave. But if the player wants to go and you got 40 million, that's just one of the easiest deals you can make, I think.
A new person in the Untouchable Balls, 96 fans for joining Untouchable. He goes, McKennie was a top player for Juve. I watched every game as a USMNT fan, and Wes is a great midfielder. Thanks for joining. Again, new guys, if you're new around here, please subscribe. We're 65 or 500, so we'd appreciate that as well. And also, if you could like the stream. Gary says Fonseca must have liked him when he was Lille manager. Yeah, exactly, when they played against us, for sure. Untouchable says defense, assists, long balls, headers. Those are McKennie's best qualities. He's a workhorse. Kevin says you'll be surprised how good Weston McKennie will be under Emery. That's another thing as well. We've got Unai Emery. I've seen Unai Emery get stuff out of Coquelin and Capu and players like that. So you can always rely on Unai Emery to do his best with any player that he does get into the squad. So
I wonder if
sure he can do stuff.
What do you reckon? I reckon
that's what I was trying to say earlier, bro. I don't know if Monchi and Emery, there might be.
I reckon Unai's gutted about Luiz having to leave. I mean, you have to. Like you mentioned about like Sawiris' interview, they seem pissed off that they're having to sell Luiz. Like they seem angry. Yeah. So I reckon Unai's the same. Like he'll work with what he's doing. Like he's getting paid handsomely,
which he always does.
His job, innit? Yeah, he won't complain. But I'd love to know like how he actually feels about the deal.
Yeah, if it was put into that situation, and yeah, for sure. Kyra says, "Don't the Euro fans think we've got the better deal?" Yeah, I've seen that as well, Kyra, for sure. I've seen Juve fans think that we've got the better deal with altogether with the two players and the money that's been offered as well. Rachel says, "Oh, someone wasn't happy in the background." Yeah, someone was not happy at all, but it got. He's now happy. Kevin says, "I've been speaking to Juventus fans online. They rate McKennie." Go through a few more comments in here. Yeah, it's just going on about. And yeah, Gary said, "This is it now. Monchi ball is kicking in now." So yeah, this is Monchi's time. His first full summer. We'll see what he does and see what he delivers for the squad. That's for sure, and let's see how he operates. I think we'll leave it there, bro. Unless there's anything else you want to discuss.
There was something I wanted. Yeah, there's something else that's happening at the moment, but I forgot. I've actually forgotten. Oh, we got a link to the left back True Fair.
Yeah.
From Rennes. I don't know. Would we have a left back now that Iling-Junior is coming in? I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, 3 on the books now. Plus, you've got Lino Souza, so that makes 4. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the movement with the left backs.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's
Alex Moreno.
Alex Moreno wanting to leave apparently wants to go back to Betis, but Betis can't afford the deal, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think Rachel sums it up perfectly. I think Emery and Monchi aren't happy at all to sell Dougie, but understand it's necessary. Yeah, I'm of that view as well. Definitely of that view. And Michael's joined late. He says hello. Thanks for joining, Michael. But I think we're just about to go. So again, if you could subscribe if you're new around here as well, and just drop us a comment on your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about this whole Douglas Luiz, Weston McKennie, and Samuel Iling-Junior deal. It's an interesting one. Swap deals are a rarity. So, yeah, this is the start of the window, along with Ross Barkley's looking to come through at the 1st of July. Villa are doing business and the mean business within this window. So, yeah, thanks for joining, bro. And thank you all for watching. Up the Villa, and let's look ahead to this interesting summer window upon us.
Up the Villa.